day, the president, everybody, all these congressmen is in position to make sure that we stay, we're a financial state, that we make sure that we're good and our commerce and our money is good. That's the whole point of that of a president and stuff like that. People don't know that. They don't even get that. You get what I'm saying? But yet, people, how is Trump still here? You get what I'm saying? This is terrible. This is a joke at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question.
ASAP Rocky locked up in Sweden. The most egalitarian place on the planet, allegedly. But let's see. Let's unpack this a little bit and see what's going on. It's kind of funny to me.
I donated money to the Harlem Children's Zone. Pardon me. 2 weeks ago, I donated money to the Harlem Children's Zone. Before that, I got charities in Harlem that I go to. At the end of the day, if you really feel like if you really trying to do it out the love of your heart, why you gotta always have cameras there? Right. Why you always gotta put it on Front Street? That ain't real. That's all I'm saying, and most people don't know that. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I can't fault nobody for being upset at those comments that they saw, or pardon me, not those comments, that paragraph that they saw from me, because that is sickening. It's disgusting. I'm very upset. That's why I'm here. You get what I'm saying? Because I had to deal with that over a year ago, and to clean that up and to have, make my ways with that, to have it brung back up as a smear campaign. I'm trying to figure out what the going on, because it's looking like it's a battle. They taking away guns from people, all this other. Next thing you know, they passing laws and nobody's looking. They don't talk about this. All they care about is this other. They martial law. They making these new things that when you used to be able to go to the concerts, that if your phone application didn't work, now officers, they correct me if I'm wrong. Do your Googles. Do your Googles, dog.
So, kill a couple birds with one stone, right? So, ASAP Rocky is in trouble. Allegedly, somebody was following him too much and he fought and whatever. A lot of people, this is my side take, is, a lot of these black folks be talking about, let's go to this country, let's go to that country. These countries have no First or Second Amendment rights often. They got their own little rules. And y'all want to go there. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to talk my shit and I'm going to shoot my guns. But a lot of y'all be going overseas and whatnot and don't know their rules and whatever, and then end up in these situations. I know this ain't the first celebrity rapper dude, even like one of the dudes from the Brilliant Idiot podcast, he got in a situation where they was going to throw the book at him and keep him locked up. These other countries don't play. Like, we always talk about how these other places, their jails are better and they're nicer and all this other stuff, but they'll keep your ass quick. This situation happens here, he can bail out quick and go to trial later, and if he has to get sued, he gets sued or whatever. But over there, they keep your ass locked up. But anyways, he got locked up. And then instantly you had all the women and the people here and the Black Lives Matter type folks going back to an interview he did in 2016. He did the interview overseas, and he said what he said in the interview. It is what it is. But what I don't like about what black folks do is and we don't tell the whole story, right? Like, that was my biggest issue with Jay-Z's song, I'm Not Black, I'm OJ, right? OJ said what he said. There's no denying that. But whether you agree with him that he did enough, or if it worked, or if it was convincing, it's not the point. But tell the whole story, because to me, that's lazy. And most people aren't going to go do the research and see what else happened and what followed that, right? You got to, if you're going to give the comment that was 2 years ago all this energy as saying why I can't bang with you no more, why I can't support you, or I want you to stay over there in the jail, at least give the follow-up or his explanation. We don't do that. We just look at the headlines and the hot take, and we share that and say, let him stay over there. But with OJ, he did have that come, to black spaces, talk about criminal justice, talk about being targeted, acknowledging what I was thinking in my mind space was different than, being in the situation he was in. Like, he came to meetings and with Jim Brown and all the other people to have that conversation. Again, whether you think it was sufficient enough is one thing, but let's not act like it didn't happen. And Jay-Z's song doesn't draw that all the way out. It doesn't address or examine all that. I think we should stop doing that. A$AP Rocky did an interview on the Breakfast Club in 2016 responding to that same very thing he said. And again, whether you like what he said or not, or like his excuses or whatever, or of him admitting what he said was wrong, because he said, if you look at the interview, he said some of these things were taken out of context, and my headspace was different. I said what I said, and I stand by it. But you got to put it in the proper perspective. What are you saying about not? He want to talk about things that happen in his life, as opposed to talking about other things in the world. And that's how he raps. That's his style. Like, he's not the conscious rapper, or he's not the rapper that does other things. He mentions what happens and what he sees. He doesn't just do it to be hot and popular. Like some folks will jump on the topic, like how Jay-Z used the situation with the one in St. Louis, how he used that situation to do his freestyle, complaining about Google, Apple, and Spotify competing with him. So he used the death of a black man to try to like make it seem like Google, Apple were doing something dirty to him. Like, no, they're a competition, motherfucker. They're supposed to not compete with you and not let you in their space. But nevertheless, he was saying he didn't want to be like that and do that. And I can't make excuses for him, but I'm saying I'm going to look at the full picture and look at the context. Instead of me just looking at the little paragraph that was written, I'm going to go look at the whole interview and what he said to follow up and make my decisions based off that. Like, oh, okay, there's more perspective and more context when you watch the Breakfast Club interview from 2016. I'll link it. But that's one thing, though. But, of course, because of what he said, you got all the people online, mostly a lot of sisters, who ain't messing with him because he said something about lipstick. One thing I didn't know either, when you watch the interview, you find out he said he didn't like a certain shade of lipstick, and then he said he saw women who changed his mind about that. But notice he said he didn't like lighter skinned women with purple or these other different colors either. But we didn't know that part. We didn't hear that element of it. It's just when he said about dark skinned women, that went viral. That was enough to try to get him canceled or whatever. Obviously, it didn't work. But in the interview, he says like he learned his lesson from that situation, and he thought differently. He saw some different women, and he was changed. But again, people will just go with the one headline from what he said and not look at the follow up and what was the, like, if you want people, you want to attack them, you want to respond to them because they said something you didn't like. You want something out of that, right? Like, you want to bully them into thinking your way, usually in this PC culture, and make them change their mind. But when they do that, sometimes y'all still don't get the person credit, or because y'all didn't do your research to see, okay, what happened with that? What did he say about that? What was the end result? But nevertheless, we don't do that. But and yeah, I watched the Breakfast Club interview, and he gave his spiel on what he meant and what was going on. Took accountability for what he said, the tweet that everybody's sharing. But another thing that is weird is that a lot of folks who have no power, no pull, nothing to get him out of what his situation is in, telling us that they're not going to help, they're not signing no petitions. And again, we're back at the same place where people who are powerless need to voice that they ain't doing something that they can't do anyways, right? It's like Will and Jada boycotting the Oscars that they were never invited to in the first place, right? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you can't do shit for A$AP Rocky. If he gets out, it will be somebody, and because I know the political scenes and the political climate, it's going to be the White House, whoever works at the embassy, and his legal team. That's how he's going to get out. None of the people who crying online talking about he can stay, I don't want him to come home, he need to learn his lesson, he going to hope he have his nigga work up card, blah, blah, blah. None of those people have anything to do with him coming home. There's nothing you can do about that. So it's weird how we in this space where people need to have a knee-jerk reaction to tell people how much they're not going to support you when your support doesn't matter anyways. Like, you overestimate your value a lot often. We do as a community. Another thing too, I saw Snoop Dogg, who disrespected Kanye's wife, going on TV, doing interviews, talking about, I think he need a black woman in his life. That same Snoop Dogg, who I can't find a clip, but I remember him saying something in reference to going overseas in different countries and juxtaposing to America because of Trump. But now he's on his little snap, Instagram, whatever, talking about, oh, I don't mess with these other countries. They got their own laws, they got the rules. I don't want to go there. But that's not what he said like a year ago. I remember. I can't find a clip though. But now he's up there asking Kim K and Kanye to get Donald Trump's ear, right? So the person you did a video with his head getting shot and head cut off or whatever you did in the video, Now you want him to help one of your homies out, right? It's amazing how that works. And this also goes with ASAP Rocky too, because in the Breakfast Club interview, he said some of the same things, like how was Trump in office? How is he still here? So the person does that, like, when you calculate that, though, it's like, how is it like the person you don't want in office, the person you wish wasn't here, the person you deemed to be evil and violent and all these other things, that's the person that's going to get you out of the situation that you in. It's almost like the NRA, right? Black people cry, the NRA doesn't help us. Fuck the NRA. Fuck the NRA. Then black person does something dumb with a gun. First thing we said, where the NRA at? Why they won't help us, right? No, they don't have to help you. You can't burn bridges and then expect people to come back and save you. But in this ASAP Rocky situation, you got Snoop Dogg, to me, who burned bridges. If I was Kanye and Kim, you know, disrespected his wife, disrespected Kanye, going on doing interviews. Like, your life is not perfect or intact for you to be speaking on any type of high horse, but you did that. Now you up here asking and begging Kanye and Kim to get Trump's ear, to get ASAP Rocky back home, right? See how that works? Also, ASAP Rocky in the interview said, which I'll probably play before I play this clip, before I talk, he goes, you know, how is Trump still here? How is it possible? So, again, the man that you saying he shouldn't be here is possibly going to be the reason why you got that suit in prison a little bit earlier. But that's just a weird string of events, though. How you don't even know how you end up meeting people. And this is the funny thing. All the people who were saying he could stay over there and he don't got to come back, now they all mad that it looks like Trump and Ivanka and Jared Kushner and the embassy are about to get involved, and Trump is about to make it happen. Even if it had nothing to do with Trump, the political objects of it is still going. He's gonna get the benefit from it. And I'm watching Ebro from Hot 97's Twitter, his Instagram feed, and you got people in their feelings. You got Tyrese talking about anything to get elected. How does this help Trump get reelected? Explain that. Like, black folks, they just released 4,000 people from the First Step Act, and you think that him getting ASAP Rocky is going to help him politically? It doesn't help him politically. That's the problem with black folks not knowing how to leverage. Because even if you get Republicans to do stuff outside of what they usually do, they still don't get credit for it. So they still have any. They don't. It makes it harder to go back to the negotiation table because you don't bring anything, right? He gets ASAP Rocky out. It does nothing. It might appease his base. That helps in that area, but it's not like he about to get a whole bunch of new votes from black folks because he got ASAP Rocky out, or even because in the First Step Act you got 4,000 people that came home this week that Obama could have got credit for, and he could have did all this, but the Congressional Black Caucus and Sheila Jackson, all the other folks, they said no, we want to bet on getting a better deal than Obama gave with Hillary, and Hillary didn't win. So y'all kept people locked up in jail that could have came home 2-3 years earlier, but because y'all thought that Hillary was going to win, and she didn't, so they had to stay in there longer. They could have been home with their families, right, over minor drug charges. Think about that. They gambled and lost big, played with people's lives because they thought we can get something better out of Hillary, who did not win. Instead of letting this happen under the Obama administration, he could have got all the credit for it, and y'all could have been saying, well, this is what he did for black folks. But y'all didn't do that. But anyways, that's just my thoughts. Folks, this whole situation on every angle. You got black folks talking about, let them stay, we don't care. Now they're in their feelings because it's looking like Trump's going to get credit from him coming home, which means that nothing you could have done could have brought him home. Think about that. That's some, again, the analogy with the NRA is a perfect analogy. It's like, how powerless do you have to be when you realize that an entity or organization that you hate or don't respect is the only one that can help you and save you when you get in trouble in certain situations. That gotta hurt. That gotta sting a little bit, right? But anyways, that's my video. ASAP Rocky may be coming home soon. I personally don't care about the situation, but I just look at all the complaints and how we have this knee-jerk reaction to condemn without looking at the full story, without even taking into context people's follow-up or explanation for what they said. We just said, oh, you said that, I'm done with you, burn. And I'm like, that's not cool. That's why I hate I'm Not Black, I'm OJ song, because OJ, again, whether you agree with him or not, I thought it was sufficient enough. He did have that moment where he had to come back, had to apologize, had to talk, had to use his profile to focus on other people's situations and crimes and being arrested for stuff. I'm out.